Hello, Wastelanders. How are we all doing? Hi. Hello, you lot, and hello, you lot watching. How is everyone?
Very good.
Charged.
Excited.
Alive.
Amazing.
Magnificent as always.
Still alive, yes. Yes. It's been a journey, but we have arrived at the most popular of them, Fallout Episode 4, which that's the one that everyone went through. That one, like Fallout 4, right?
Mm.
So, yeah.
Did you go through Fallout 4?
I may have. No, never.
Oh, low blow.
Don't worry, there's still time, Tom. There's still time. I mean,
Yeah.
basically, you don't need to play it.
I'm playing it now on
you've
my
got
other
this,
screen,
yeah.
actually, so we'll see. I guess.
We have returned to carry on with this little investigation, this little mystery. You have all found yourselves in the gleaming settlement, the gleaming beacon of hope that is Crystal Palace, in the southish side of London. And you have spent some time traipsing the streets, getting to know some of the locals, whilst in pursuit of the enigmatic Clements, off the back of Mika's request with her last dying breath. For you are on the hunt for a Gek, a Garden of Eden creation kit, and if you were to find it, what you end up doing with it is, well, I guess that's kind of up to you, isn't it? So, so who you managed to locate Clements after a somewhat lengthy wild goose chase, and now you find yourselves in one of Crystal Palace's like backstreet suburbs, face to face with this hulk of a man. And with all of that in mind, who would like to crack on?
I will.
You. Mona is leading the charge. Very, very good.
No.
So, the door to this shack opens, and standing in the doorway is an old, tall, dark-skinned man with a shaven head and beard. He is dressed in dirty work clothes beneath a heavy leather vest with many pockets that contain tools for construction and woodworking. His nose looks recently busted and is held across its bridge by a bandage, with spots of blood staining through the binding. He sees his reflection in your chassis, Marvin, and he looks down to the barking dog in front of him. And he looks puzzled for a moment and, I'm sorry, do I know you?
I don't know. You might have met me before. My name is Marvin.
Hello, Marvin. This bear of a man, and he looks kind of up and down the alley, and he's wondering what's happening. Sorry, you've caught me a bit unawares. What can I do for you?
Crap, why are we here? It's been so long.
So, you were asked by Mika to track down Clements because she said he was someone who knew about where she kept the Gek.
I am now wondering that Marvin actually genuinely would not remember why they're here, because the Gek doesn't really interest him. Like, he's fine as far as he's concerned. Yeah, the way things are is okay. He doesn't need to be a paradise. He can get by. So for a second, you can just see Marvin bop, and then it goes, I believe my colleagues have some questions for you.
And the Clements colleagues, he says, and as that happens, there's the sounds of like heavy panting and footsteps as the four of you come barreling around the corner, having just run from one end of Crystal Palace to the other. somewhat well. You're certainly not as fast as Mika the dog, and Marvin was able to just elevate over the crowds, like the nighttime crowds. But the four of you just kind of barrel in and like crashing and banging into one another. And Clements looks shocked as the four of you kind of crash into view.
And as you do, Marvin goes, colleagues, Clements, colleagues.
Clements kind of looks to you all and look, if this is about what happened at the Black Brahmin, all I did was try to stop whatever it was that's happening. I've got nothing to do with it otherwise.
You are Clements, though, yes?
Yes. If you don't mind me asking, who's asking?
We're just...
Maybe we should be the ones asking who's asking. Thank you very much.
Have you got
Can I attempt to intimidate him with my
with your actual gun? Okay.
actual gun?
Um,
Of course, this is a pipe gun. Hence the
it
pipe.
is 100%
Nature.
a pipe gun.
Of course.
Sure. Roll me a charisma. Roll me a charisma. No, roll me a charisma small guns.
Charisma small gun, and this you class this as the skill check, yes?
Yeah.
So I would like.
Here we go.
Oh god, here goes.
Oh, what's my things? Just you can re-roll one. I'm going to have an extra AP from the party.
Yep.
Why not? So take that down to 2. Add on the thing,
Yep.
and I can re-roll one apparently.
You can indeed.
So I will re-roll that one.
So this
Aha!
is off. There we go. Off the back of your daring nature. Okay.
Haha!
So with a little you can kind of throw the gun, let it spin in the air, then catch it again.
I would try that.
Clements freezes in place, and no, there's no need for that, friend. He says.
Yeah, all right. And he puts it away immediately afterwards.
he looks to the rest of you somewhat. There's the look on his face is one of confusion, apprehension, bewilderment. What is Bailey doing?
Bailey is just huddled over on the pavement, grievously out of breath. They look up a little bit wild-eyed and like, Mr. Clements! Clements!
Yes.
Clements!
Would you like to come in and take a seat? I've got some water if you want it. It's not the cleanest, but it might, you know.
You must not become addicted to water. Anyway, dog, Mika. Mika's the dog. You like Mikas. This one's a Mika, like you like. Yeah.
As you say the name Mika, you all watch him visibly like stiffen, like his shoulders hunch up slightly, and his eyes become more focused and kind of dart between you all in turn. And as he kind of tilts his head back slightly, he very pensively says, "That's a very nice name for a dog. Very nice name indeed."
Sure is. How about we come in and have a chat about dogs?
He looks to the rest of you. What faces are you all wearing? What expressions are upon your faces?
Unfriendly. Ramona.
It's a standard kind of borderline mania.
Okay.
Happy smiling.
Bemused with one eyebrow cocked.
Okay. Marvin?
I was about to say it's a bit species of you. Assuming
Are you
we
just
all have a
aggressively
face.
bobbing?
I mean, I don't know. My flamethrower is not out, so
Okay, I mean
As
that's I
friendly
think
as
the
it
closest.
gets.
That's
Maybe
the
you should get
closest.
like a marker pen so that you can, add expressions as needed.
If you put like little diagonal lines on two of your eyes, but like so you could bring them together to be angry, or if you switch them around the other way, it makes it look.
Oh.
Only if I get googly eyes to go with them.
Yes. Okay. Clements tries his like. It looks like he's taking his measure of the five of you. Before he like any happy. Have you put the gun?
Oh
the
yeah,
pipe
it's
pistol
gone.
Away,
It's
right?
back away now.
Okay.
Yeah. So not intimidating now. I've got my dice out.
Sure. In which case, yeah, he with another final kind of look up and down the alleyway, he please come in, he says, and he kind of turns around, walks into his little shack, leaving the door open for you.
All right, I'll scurry in, I
Okay.
guess.
After you, my ladies. Speaking to
Thank you.
Augusta.
Thank you.
Marvelous. So as you enter in, the best word to describe Clements's living arrangements are modest and unbroken in. It is clear, like there are still a few bits and bobs that seem to be kind of packed away in like traveling bags, or well, either it looks like he hasn't unpacked, or he intends on leaving some point soon. But you can see that the essentials and the necessities have been kind of scattered around this area that is no more than sort of like 15 foot by 10 foot in size. There's just enough space for a bed, a kitchen cooker type area, a small table that's kind of rotated in such a way because one of the legs has been broken off, and a few stacks of kind of personal possessions dotted around. You do notice that over his bed is a what you assume to be the like a religious token on a necklace hanging over his bed. You would assume it's for those of you that are in the know, you would assume that it is the symbol of the Church of Old England. But he sort of like walks over to the bed and kind of takes a seat, and he kind of looks around, and there's one chair. It's a stool. There's one stool there, but he gestures to it for you, Bailey. And then he just kind of looks up to the other three-legged guests in his home, and make yourselves as comfortable as you can.
And before Bailey can get on the chair, the dog jumps on it.
Sure.
I pick the dog up, sit down, put the dog on me, having a great time.
Yeah.
Okay. Marvelous. So, yeah, with the 6+ dog of you in this shack, it feels small. And you're also noticing the temperature is steadily rising as Marvin's jet thrusters just act as an open furnace in the corner.
Are there any other exits that we can see other than the front door?
No, it is just for all intents and purposes, this is just like a big metal box. You would assume that maybe it's like one of those kind of corrugated container type crates that you've seen down at the docks once upon a time, but it looks like it's just had like a wall kind of welded in to separate it into various chunks. So you assume that he has a neighbor behind him.
Does he have a tie rack anywhere?
He doesn't have a tie rack, but there is a nail in the wall with a number. As he's walked in, he's taken off his like tall vest, like his kind of engineer's vest, and he's hung it up on this very crude peg on the wall. That's the closest he's got to a tie rack.
Fair enough.
As you all kind of funnel in and shuffle around a little bit awkwardly, he looks to you again and Tell me. And he looks to you, Bailey. Tell me the story of this dog.
Well, named it after a very lovely lady that we met, who sadly has passed on. I'm sorry if this is the first time we're telling you that.
He stares at you for a long time. But here, the expression on his face not changing. But you all watch as slowly you can see dimples forming on his cheeks as he starts clamping down on his back teeth. And Bailey, you being somewhat closer to him, as he looks at you, you can see like a glisten start to appear in his eye, and then he slowly drops his head, takes a deep breath, reaches under the pillow and pulls out a little flask, like a metal flask. And as he pops the cap, the smell of really strong, crude, homebrewed, like moonshine smelling stuff fills the room. And like it's a pretty big flask, and he just drinks the whole thing in one go. He winces slightly and sniffs a few times, and he looks up to you. How did it happen?
Bandits, I'm afraid. We dealt with them, if that's any consolation.
It doesn't, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Where did it happen?
Oh, it was
Sitcom.
down at one of the old stations. Seemed like she was looking for something important, but said that you might have some kind of sciencey thing, I think. Something he wanted us to do.
Like, his heavy, kind of ragged breathing stops for a moment as you say that, and he kind of looks up to you again quite warily, and his eyes glance across. And in this moment, as Bailey brings up the sciencey thing, what expressions are you all wearing? Apart from Marvin. Aggressive bobbing.
I would be kind of shuffling a little bit embarrassed for what he's just learned all at once. I'd be looking down at the floor, and as much as I want to know, Augusta would definitely be giving off the sense of feeling loss for this person.
Happy?
He's eyeing up the bottle. It's sad for the guy, but an opportunity is an opportunity.
Absolutely.
He's such a piece of work.
Mona.
Mona's a little bit taken aback by his show of emotion and a little bit perturbed by it, as in wasn't expecting it.
Sure.
She'd built up in her mind that he was going to be some hard man that they were going to have to force information out of almost, and the way that Bailey's getting him to talk and he looks like he's genuinely about to tell us stuff and have an actual conversation, Mona's not expecting that, so she's taken aback a bit.
Sure.
I mean, we can still beat him up if you like. I think between Marvin and Happy, we at least have two characters who don't really care.
Well, Marvin, what's your emotional disposition at this point?
Honest to God, my first thought was like, are there any windows in here?
There aren't, no.
Yeah, this is a safety hazard.
Yes.
If you set a fire in here and lock people in, they will suffocate very quickly.
We'll set off a mine.
Yeah, but how likely are either of those things to happen?
Well,
Depends how long we stay here, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Rapidly increasing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Clements kind of looks to you and kind of seeing all of these. I guess it's when he looks at you, Mona, and he recognizes that you seem quite taken aback. That presumably internally he makes some sort of decision, and yeah, me and Meeks went back quite some time. I've always thought of myself as a traveler, but I was passing by and found her in trouble. She was being accosted by some hooligans, so I stepped in. To after it all happened, as a way of thanks, she led me to this. She must have seen something in me. She showed me to this hideout that she has, and then showed me a miracle. But we decided to keep it quiet initially. She'd become obsessed with the thing. She was always striking out, trying to find records or reports of where to use this thing to generate the best effect. She kept on striking out. Her perfectionism meant that if she couldn't get every ounce of benefit out of it, then it would be a waste to use it. But every time she went out and something wasn't quite right about the location she had in mind, so we were back to square one, and off she would go back out into the streets. I guess this was just one trip too many. Thank you for telling me.
How long was she gone for?
This time she was gone about a week or so. I begun to worry about her because she's not normally away for this long. So I know sometimes you can get pinned down in the streets by whatever's out there and you might lose a day or two, but she was straying further and further from the city, from Crystal Palace with every trip. If you're saying was it Sidcup, you said? That's quite a way. I told her that she shouldn't go without some protection, but Mika was stubborn, I guess. I'm sorry.
Have you checked it's still there?
No one else knows about her hideout, and I'm confident that it's still there, yes.
What about, what do you know about a fella called, Rast? He's been hanging about.
Clements looks to you and... I'm sorry, that name means nothing to me.
Seemed like he knew Mika pretty well. Older fella, dressed up like a doctor.
Sorry, if he's one of Mika's friends, then perhaps she knew him from before I arrived. As I say, I haven't been here very long, and to keep myself busy, I've just been helping at the construction site to build the church.
Interesting. Well, Oh, I'll tell you what, Mrs. Clements. I probably don't have a great deal of time on this earth, and I was hoping to get something done before I shuffle off my mortal coil to hoping to get something done that might matter a bit.
And you were
I
after
mean, is
some
there a
cream,
reason you haven't
right?
used it yet?
Sorry, what was that, Tim?
I'm just saying, there a reason you haven't used it yet?
As I say, Mika was always wary of. Mika wanted to find the perfect spot, but she wanted to use it in a place where it wouldn't do any harm. You see, it's and wherever it was used, it would need to be somewhere protected against hooligans or the other dangers that lurk in London. She knew that creating something like this would immediately draw the attention of the gentry and all of the squabbling factions, and that's not what she wanted from this utopia. She wanted somewhere for people to be safe. But I fear she was discovering that there's nowhere safe in London.
Well, the good thing, which I know there's a bit of a bad time to say, at least there's a good thing. None of us are part of one of them squabbling malarkeys, right? So we take it off your hands. We'll find the right spot. Job's a good one. Mika gets her way. We get the chance to do something good before Bailey gets his cream.
Mona's visibly covering her arm over her little
And
jacket.
hey, if you're really feeling bad, I can give you a hug. Come here, fella.
He
Come here.
Bring it in.
he
Bring it
lifts
in,
a
fella.
hand up to stop
Bring it
you.
in.
He's
Okay.
he's yeah. You're not. You haven't raised your relationship level with him high enough for hugs yet.
Yeah, I think Bailey might even just like put her hand on Happy's arm and be like,
yeah.
time and place, mate, come on.
All right, yeah, right. But I am
Clements,
right. We haven't. We're not part of any of those groups, right? And he's looking around to everyone.
Clements doesn't seem to notice the Camelot insignia on your shoulder, Mona, but his eyes kind of fall on you, Augusta, as he regards your somewhat scientific disposition. If you had the power of miracles in your hand, what would you do with it?
It really depends on what you're calling a miracle and what I might call science. I don't believe that what you're talking about is a miracle. I do believe it's true. That's why I'm here. That's why we're all here.
You know what it's capable of?
Somewhat. And you hear tale of legend and, even if half of what is true is said to be true is true, then it's worth all of us doing this.
You know that if anyone knows you have it, all sorts will be coming after you. And this thing is both a powerful blessing and a curse all in one.
Yes, well, fortunately, we have a movable can of beans over here who's very good as a tin opener. And quite effective, I might say, following their recent glow-up. Correct? Correct?
Marvin is quiet because he it is contemplating like, do I like being called like a tin, and it's warning against its affection for Augusta for getting the glow up. So there is a pause, and then like, yes.
Listen, all of us at the bottom line, we're all here because this is something remarkable that could change the world and could certainly change London. London needs the Gek.
And we're the best ones to take care of it.
Well, we're the ones who are taking care of it, yes. We're not necessarily the best, but we're definitely the ones.
No, yeah, right. As a group, as a circular group, we're the
Yeah.
best.
As a collective, we're certainly something.
At least.
Clements' eyebrows flattered somewhat as you successfully kind of talk yourself down a little bit, but he thinks about it for a moment, and in that moment it almost seems like the fact that you're not just out and out gunning to say that you're the best. He seemingly buys into that a bit more.
Yeah, while she's saying that we're the best, I'm just kind of behind her, like picking out a tooth that's got a little bit too annoying, so just pop it out and swallow it down, get the calcium.
It's in short supply.
Why it's not?
Zero waste, you know.
Yes. Have you any idea where you might use it? Because you can't use it near any settlements or near anyone important. He stops and kind of looks to you. You know how it works, right?
No. But if you need a desolate wasteland, I understand Luton's not too far from here. Wrong timeline? I'm sorry.
He, like, his face kind of darkens, and this is part of the problem why Mika could never find somewhere suitable. I don't understand the science. Truthfully, I don't. I don't think I could ever.
How much would Augusta know, Dan? Like, how much would my character have heard of this? What's the...
Roll me a intelligence science.
Oh, good luck.
Which I assume should be your... Yes, the base.
2?
Yes, unless you want to buy some APE.
No, I'm going to fail regardless.
Oh.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, you know that basically it converts like flora, like natural materials in its area. So it takes all of that, like stone and wood and water and blah, and then it basically zhuzhes it up, and then it's almost like a big kind of boom of light, and it kind of rebuilds the molecules and atoms that make up the constituent parts of sort of like the organic material nearby into fertile wildlife, like fertile ground. So that's what you've heard.
So Augusta would look and say, well, listen, I believe that all matter within a given radius would shrink down and recombine to bring a fertile, virgin landscape and allow life to begin anew, because life, after all, always finds a way, and this is the way that it finds a way.
Clements nods. I mean, that's the best of it, but
Marvin raises an arm
Yes.
What's that certain area?
Clements kind of shrugs, and Mika always said that it was an area large enough to support a settlement. It was large enough to support a new start, a new world for London.
That is very vague.
Oh,
But
I mean, as I say,
I-
I don't know the specifics of it, but he sort of like turns his head from you, Marvin, back to you, Augusta. So who would be pressing the button?
well, we
Arguably, it's the greatest honor, but the
yes,
greatest sacrifice as well.
I think the dog. We could train a dog.
quite. Listen, there is
That's
a
not
moment.
that's not the point, Mr. Clements. What makes you think this thing even works? Where did she get it?
He looks, and she never said specifically, but I have my suspicions. Mika was a woman who was always on the run. She was a woman that was always in hiding. And for something this advanced, there's only one place I could think of that she got it. I think, well, you might consider me a madman, but what do you know of Angel?
The area near Islington?
Oh, I wish it were that Angel. That would be, I mean, that Angel was bad enough, but no, this is.
I might have some angel dust in the pocket somewhere. Hang on.
I think Mona is the only one that this really has any weight for. Or no, Augusta as well. I think she found herself. She wormed her way into a place she wasn't supposed to be and stole the proverbial golden goose. And that's why she's been running. Because if there's anything we know about Angel, is that they don't stop chasing.
And that's why I'm concerned when you say only you two know. Because that's not true, is it?
Mika hasn't never told me about seeing any mysterious strangers or the like following, but I'd assume that she's not really from around here either, so I was under the impression that she'd just done a good job of staying ahead.
Mona heard the name Angel in the city recently.
Yes.
Was it at the church, or was it?
It was.
It was in the
It
shop
was
you went
your.
to.
It was that
your-
lady in the shop.
Your mate told
mate.
you about it, didn't she?
Petunia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
She mocked the idea of a organization of secret underground mystery men, mystery people, called Angel. Like it was the manifestation of basically the 22ties London boogeyman.
And she brought it up when I was talking about the lads that were giving her shop trouble. And she went off on one, didn't she?
Yeah, she went off on one. Yeah, so she kind of spanned some lines about what she'd heard others say about Angel, and then scoffed at the idea.
So I think Mona's gonna sort of say to Clements, and what if they have? What if Mika just didn't notice the shadows following her? What if they're already here?
Well, then, if you're planning on using the Gek for the betterment of London, you'd best act quickly.
Yeah, and you'll notice that other than my good friend Happy here, none of us have been overly direct about asking you where Mika's hiding place is, but
Listen,
we
know the perfect place as well to use the Gek. I know we've had a discussion already. We can take it. We'll do the perfect place. Like I said, train a dog. Then we will put the whole of London will love it. We know the perfect place, north of the river. Just let us know where it is.
She'd always mused on whether it would be apt to use it at Hyde Park. Yes.
Right? 1 and 1. We're thinking the same. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Right.
Yes, local Londoner. Yes. I'm panicking. Is Hyde Park north of the river?
Okay, so
Yes, it
out
is.
of character,
Yes, it is.
what happened with Crystal Palace Park?
There's a lot of people here.
I mean,
Blender.
as Marvin, I don't care, but so that's where they live, literally in the park.
Pretty much.
You're absolutely right. There is a massive, massive park. Arguably, it's got a few more holes in it than it did once upon a time. But yeah, Clements. I mean, Clements has mentioned Hyde Park. I mean, arguably, in terms of size. I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. Crystal Park is massive. But Marvin, you've kind of picked up on. Yes, yeah. Marvin, you've kind of picked up on the idea that, like, there's been a few times where I think, Marvin, you've kind of put 2 and 2 together, and based off of what Augusta said earlier, like her explanation of the Gek, and then Clements's follow-up, you start to get this kind of it's either a tingle of dread or a tingle of excitement, because Augusta said all matter in her explanation, and then switched to Flora. But then Clement said, yes, all of it, like all matter. And then you think about Clements asking who's going to press the button. And then it dawns on you. This thing atomizes everything in its radius and reconstitutes it. All matter.
That's
so
fun.
The dog would be perfect.
Can't go.
What would you and the dog? Let Mika live.
My goodness, Happy.
That's going to be the tagline.
Obviously, I'm gonna die. I'll do it if you laugh.
You're
Before
not
you
doing
get your
it.
cream, blimey.
Try and stop me, my friends.
So Clements looks Clements kind of there's a bit of a silence, there's a lull in the conversation, and then he kind of takes a breath, and I haven't the heart right now to take you there, but I can show you the entrance to the tunnels that lead to her bunker hideout, and then inside you should be able to find the Gek.
Sounds dapper. Sorry, you carry on.
Why wouldn't you want to join us? I understand you're upset, but surely this means something to you as well.
If she's gone, then I have some affairs that I need to get in order. I hope you understand.
Hey,
But-
we understand. Come here, fella. Come here. Bring it. We understand completely.
But they'll still be
Uh,
after you, Clements.
Can I push Happy as forcefully as I possibly can,
Right,
please?
right.
Um,
Okay.
Clements is happy. Mona is
I'll be
happy
nice.
and
Add some kindness.
happy and tussling. He looks to you like in response to your question. Won't they still be after? He looks to you and he just kind of he doesn't say anything, but his eyes say everything. And then he, as I say, I'll need to get some affairs in order. And you see him sort of like looking around at his possessions. It seems
be
like he's thinking he might need to up and leave.
Not to be insensitive, but you have recently been in a fight. What if someone kills you and you never share the location with us?
Well, at least he. You mean the location of where the new settlement will be? You mean the Promised Land?
No, the location of the Gek.
As I say, I can lead you to the tunnels that lead to her hideout. You will find it in there.
I
As long as
understand
there's-
that part. My worry is that you are being sought after. You were in a fight. What if you get kidnapped? What if you get killed? Human beings are so very fragile.
And that
And you
puts
have
us in a lot of danger.
And you have wasted a lot of time sitting on this. And he holds up 2 arms. Miracle.
Marvin, give me a charisma speech check.
Okay.
See if you can convince the man. What are you trying? Presumably, you're trying to convince him to come with you.
Owner is.
No, I'm trying to
100%.
convince him to just go down, tell us where it is. We can pick it up ourselves. He's wasting time basically, as far as Marvin is concerned.
I think effectively he has told us. He's told us where the entrance is, and that's as far as we need to know. I think is
the tunnels. The tunnels to the hideout lead from Crystal Palace all the way to this bunker. The route is blocked off after that point. There's one way in, one way out. Just how Mika...
You're sure it's still there?
Okay, I thought personally that the tunnels was very vague.
Oh, I see.
Which is why.
He explains that it's fundamentally like an access tunnel that runs from under. It's one of the access tunnels under, Crystal Palace, and then it just winds to this bunker, underground bunker that she was holed up in. So when he says, if you go down there, you'll definitely find it.
So, once again, out of character, guys. What's stopping us just going there now?
Well, Mona's very concerned that if he doesn't come with us, and someone else like Angel finds him, then we're in danger.
Oh, we can just kill him now, so he can't tell anyone else.
Mona's changed her tune in that regard.
Just thinking.
I mean, by all means, if Marvin's going to get all flamey, then
I mean, we can literally suffocate him. There are no windows.
I mean, I'm not sure Mona was ever neutral good, but
I think Bailey's just gonna go through all of the questions and the concerns and stuff. Just have a little think and just say, look, maybe it's gone. Maybe there's an ambush. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe it never existed in the first place.
That one.
So what? What's the difference? We'll still be here. We'll still be living in a shitty wasteland. What? You want to live forever in this? When there's a chance, even the smallest fragment of a chance. you can live in a real world? Or do you all want to end up looking like me? You want your kids to look like me? Because they could.
If you had your cream.
This is something we can do.
There's nothing wrong with looking like you, Bailey.
Say that when you go through life, as it is. Not quite as fun as it looks. Still, you
I
know, if you're
understand.
into this, we can, maybe a bit later.
Mona tries not to break character, as in she isn't meant to be emotional in any way, but she just knows that Bailey's cracking her up. But she just gives him a light tap on the shoulder. Sorry, gives Bailey a light tap on the shoulder.
Oh, this conversation is taking turns.
I can, as I say, I can take you to the entrance to the tunnels, and then I put my faith in you.
Peachy. Sounds like a plan, right?
Can we get there tonight?
Absolutely. In fact, I think the sooner that you go, the better.
Agreed.
Oh, if you see a fella in a doctor's coat and a gas mask, maybe, make tracks. He's a bit weird.
Yeah, a bit dodge.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate the heads up.
Unlike us, of course.
So, are you, with all that said, are you happy to follow him to the entrance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
could I be last out and try and take his canteen
Engineer's coat.
Flask.
flask, please?
Isn't he drinking from it?
He chugged the whole thing, this like moonshine. He got, and then just kind of left it on his bed. So yeah, absolutely. He as he kind of gets up, the bed kind of creaks as his weight lifts off it, and then he just kind of sidles between the five of you and kind of steps outside his shack. And yeah, as you all kind of funnel out after, and he's kind of distracted, happy you're able to. Right.
Oh,
amazing!
How many I'm guessing you just have a crate of props in front of you.
You know
There's
what?
boxes, but these over here and here.
We've gone through 4 sessions, and you've had all these props. So have a single party AP.
Yes.
Yes.
How generous.
All paid off.
Oh, that's good moonshine.
So, yeah, he leads you to a relatively short distance away, to what you would fundamentally call like a laundrette. It's basically an area where people can sort of wash their clothes as washed as they can be in the Fallout universe. But he kind of leads you in, and like he has a little look around. There's all these kind of like washing machines, just kind of rattling and clanking because they're a bit in a state of disrepair. The wooden bench in the middle of the room. You can see sort of like milk crates, sort of like wooden baskets that have just been left around for people to put their clothes in. But he kind of checks over his shoulder as you enter, and then he closes the door behind you, and he walks up to one of the large kind of washing machines, because they're the big ones, and he kind of like drops his weight a little bit, gets his fingers around it, and like with a heft slides this washing machine round, revealing a hole in the wall, like through the brickwork. And as you peer through, on the other side, there is what appears to be a access hatch with presumably a ladder going down into the floor. And he sort of like he rubs his forehead with the back of his hands as he finishes this heavy exertion, and after you, he says. Who's first?
I'd
The
walk
dog.
first.
Augusta?
Yeah.
Augusta's first. Okay. So,
What affairs
as,
are you putting in order, Clements? Be honest with us.
Well, you're dogged, aren't you? I love this.
if Mika's moved on, then you're right. He could well be after me next. And I would not be able to live with the thought that I've put the people of Crystal Palace in danger. So, I will remove myself from the equation. And if it leads the threat away from these civilians, then that is what I shall do.
So why not just come with us then?
If nothing else, if they are in fact coming after me, then they're not coming after you. Consider this diversion a gift.
I believe him.
Oh, no wonder they call you Mona. Come on.
Okay, so yeah, he gestures to the ladder, Augusta, as you start climbing down. He waits for you all to sort of like filter in, and handily, Marvin, the hole, this access shaft is just big enough for Mr. Handy Droid.
How convenient.
Very, very convenient. Yes, there's even 3 grooves for your eyes to
Oh, excellent.
fit in as well. But no, he gestures to the hole in the ground, and I'll close this up behind you after you've gone in. You can push it open from the other side. You just need to put your back into it. Push with your legs, he says. And
Wow.
yeah, as you start descending, he looks to you, gives you a nod, and good luck. I hope you find your promised land, just like Mika wanted to. With that, he begins sliding the washing machine back into place. So,
Well, he was a dreary fellow, wasn't he?
Mhm.
Blimey.
So, you head down and you follow the cobweb-infested underground tunnel for what feels like hours through dark corridors lit by faint blue floor lights spaced out every 20 feet. It is uncertain who built the tunnel or why, but its stony walls are carefully constructed and have managed to survive an apocalypse without crumbling. At last, you arrive at the end of the tunnel. You see, to the right, on the right-hand wall, is a thick steel door with a password-protected keypad lock that blinks at irregular intervals with an eerie red light. What do you do?
Anybody know where to go? Send the dog.
Augusta?
So you're at the end of the tunnel. You can see this heavy reinforced metal door with the keypad next to it.
Feel like you could have
Augusta?
told us about this.
Right. So sorry, right down there. You're gonna have to find the door. You can't get through. Simples.
Some of you reckon that you might be able to hack it.
On the off chance that doesn't work, what do I think are the chances a plasma mine would get through this?
Oh, likely.
Sweet.
Wouldn't that also destroy us in a tunnel?
Yeah, maybe.
Would it open the door?
That's a problem for later.
Yeah.
Take
right?
take a leaf from Mona's book and take a step back.
Yeah, exactly.
Would
Mona's looking at Augusta.
would there be any tools on Mr. Handy over here? Like blowtorch or anything like that?
I mean, I have
Are
a
you not
flamethrower.
techie?
Well, I am techie, but why use that skill
Bef-
when I
Hmm.
roll so horribly?
Hold on,
So,
before you
I
do
should-
that,
I've just realised this is. I've realised we've made a faux pas. This is Fallout, right? So it's a keypad, and then there's like a computer terminal directly above it. And
Oh,
then
so
when you
can
stand in
hack.
front of it, you kind of feel drawn into it, and then it flicks to life, and then loads of like garbled letters and
Oh, okay.
punctuation marks
Yeah.
appear on the screen.
Can you bring up that particular puzzle, please, Dan?
As they all do. So, yes, it looks like it could be hacked. Failing that, we know that we have a plasma mine and a Mr. Handy. So,
Now, I don't know whether this would work, but obviously I'm not techie or nothing. But can I use a lock point to handily find the key code that is dotted around on the floor? Because I think you can use lock points to handily find key information, right?
Oh, come on, let Augusta fail
Key
the roll.
information.
I think for
If
it
the
to
D-
get
I
a
mean-
on the roll.
clue,
Depends
yeah.
on what. I think Dan has to also be alright with it as well.
Oh, right,
so
okay, yeah.
We'll see.
Fair enough.
Tragically.
I'm trying to read.
No, you are correct, but I think for hacking, you find a clue to the computer password, not the actual password itself.
So it removes
I'm
some
happy
of
to
the,
let Augusta go mental at this.
in the game. That would remove some of the incorrect guesses, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
or you
this is
can
the
see which numbers have been pushed the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can figure out the order.
Well,
The only way we could
we've got
pass this is
3AP,
through
guys.
in-game mechanics, like video game mechanics. Yes, you can absolutely hack it. You can spend a luck point, which will help.
Yeah.
Certainly help.
Can I spend a luck point to help Augusta?
Sure. You can spend the luck point, and you find.
Which in game is just like him annoyingly egging Augusta on. It's like, no, 3. It's definitely 3. Look, it's worn. Whatever.
Sure.
God's sakes.
Augusta, would you like to attempt a hacking check? It'll be an intelligence science roll.
I particularly dislike rolls in this game, but yes, I will.
Aw.
Use some
And
AP as well.
You're getting a. So yeah, you're succeeding on 13s.
Can I just check? The difficulty of skill tests to hack computers is decreased by 1.
Decreased by 1. Yeah.
So I've got the
So
hacker.
it's decreased by 1. I'm letting you in that Happy's luck. He's going to point out something which will decrease it by another 1. You still got to roll, but
Boo.
and you can,
Okay.
by all means, grab a party AP if you so wish.
Yes.
At least
so-
1.
At least
not
1.
3.
No, let's not do that. But so science, Dan, yeah?
Yeah, so it's a science
Science?
intelligence.
Oh,
There we go.
The critical
So,
success.
I can't actually. Can we just take a moment here so we can stop the Augusta role bullying and
So, very, very good. With your hacking expertise and Lucky's help, that reduced the difficulty down to 1, so you gain a party AP and go up to 3. And as you look at it, and yeah, you're absolutely right. Like Happy kind of points out that some of the keys are more worn, some are a bit more stiff, and like you see Happy kind of going, "Oh, this one's clacky, clack, 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 clack. Stop it!" Because he's entering in digits of the password kind of thing. But as you manage to whittle out enough of the options on the screen that you find the 4-word password that is correct. You know, it's like MASH, and the red light on the keypad turns green, and with a hiss, the door slides open.
yes, but let's have a look inside. That seemed to be all right, didn't it? Thank you, Happy. Thank you.
Hey, no, it was all you, my lovely.
Well, I don't quite think that's the case, but I appreciate the thought.
And while you guys are talking, Marvin just goes.
Okay, Marvin, as you whoosh on in, the bunker is a Spartan concrete room, supported by numerous old rusted pillars that hold up a wooden ceiling. The floor is littered with empty food wrappings, broken and discarded Pepsi Cola bottles, and random trinkets. Broken down machines from before the Great War line one of the walls and seem to have been stripped for parts. The shelves house many boxes. Shelves create 3 aisles through the room. The shelves house many boxes, supplies, books, scrap, and personal trinkets. In the back of the bunker is a simple bed next to a makeshift kitchen. In the center aisle stands a Protectatron robot, painted pink. It turns to regard you, wobbling from leg to leg in a slow and unsteady manner. And as it turns to face you fully, a raspy metallic voice emits, presumably from its glass head cone.
Oh, there you are, Ms. Mika. I was getting so worried about you. Welcome home. I do hope that you have been eating well and drinking plenty of water.
And the robot starts clonking its way towards you, just kind of rocking from leg to leg in a very Protectatron way.
It's good to stay hydrated.
Absolutely. Oh, Ms. Mika, you appear to have made some friends.
When it's addressing us, when it's addressing Miss Mika, who is it talking to specifically?
It's difficult to say because Protectatrons don't have faces. So, because it's just like, it's almost egg-shaped, isn't it? So it's just kind of like, you can only really tell what way it's facing because it's wherever the middle of its torso is pointing. You assume that's where it's just kind of, and it also, as it kind of, you notice it kind of rotates. That it takes a step to rotate, seemingly to face each of you in turn, but it's just kind of aimed in your general direction at the moment. So yes, this robot kind of stands in front of you and just kind of seemingly patiently kind of waits.
I want to get closer.
Okay, yeah. So as you approach the Protectatron, just kind of like rocks again on its hips to turn towards you.
Hello.
Greetings, friend.
Hello.
Do you know about and it leans closer and much quieter, the revolution?
The Protectatron just at the hips, just kind of like leans back a little bit and leans forward again.
I do not.
Would you like to know about the revolution?
Make me a charisma or intelligence, your choice, plus speech check.
I am gonna go with no, charisma. 1 success.
1 success.
A revolution sounds highly entertaining. I would like to take you up on this offer. When do we begin?
Oh, does Marvin care about the others? Marvin is gonna turn around for a second and say,
End boss.
Marvin's gonna turn around to the group and say, "You look for you look for the thing you came here for. I am gonna talk to my new friend."
The Protectotron just kind of rocks a little bit to face everyone else, and kind of again looking into the huddle of you.
It has been so long since you were last here, Ms. Mika. Are you well? Are you eating well? Are you drinking well?
Stunned silence.
Happy
from the humans.
nudges Augusta. I think you're best placed here.
And the Protectotron starts donk, donk. It's like clonking its way towards you.
What
Donk,
is
donk,
the trajectory
donk.
of the Protectotron?
It appears to be heading directly towards you, and as it goes past, like shuffling from one foot to the other, Marvin, you notice that printed on the back of its like collar, if you will, just under its glass head dome, in very faded lettering, you can see the name Clara, like stamped on its back.
At which point, Marvin, you are Clara, correct?
The Protectotron stops and donk, donk, and then starts a very slow and laborious process of turning 180 degrees.
Correct.
Miss Mika told me about you. She also wants you to know about the revolution. Let me tell you.
Amazing.
Basically, I
I
want them to. I wanted to focus on me while you guys do your thing.
Sure.
Is the room well lit?
So there are like low light, warm strip light type lights kind of hanging from the ceiling. So yes, you can see.
Can I figure out if there's any way to close this door?
There is a keypad, and when you press it, it closes and kind of closes, slides shut, and you. I mean, there's another keypad similar to the one on the outside, but this computer terminal is kind of unlocked, if you will, and you can see the option to lock, if you so wish.
Sure, yeah. I'll give it a
Okay.
little boop.
And it locks shut. You hear a heavy boom kind of lock.
Can I take Mika the dog this way? Up to the top as we're looking
Down the
at it.
left aisle, yeah,
The
absolutely.
left aisle.
So as you peer around, as I say, there's all
Oh
sorts
boy.
of like, there's all sorts of detritus and trash and just all sorts of stuff. And it to look at it, you imagine that not all of it is Mika's, and in fact, between here and the little kind of bed area, the sleeping area at the back, she probably doesn't really care for the rest of it. Like it's literally just there's open boxes and crates on the shelves and whatnot. The only thing you can see from where you're stood is down the right aisle. Yeah, there are these three kind of large kind of computer stacks that just appear to have been utterly kind of stripped apart. They're seemingly just kind of shells. But yeah, as you go up the left hand, what's Bailey doing?
It's all locked up, so that should be fine. I'll just start having a wander about and seeing what I can find down the middle.
Okay.
Maybe
So-
also trying to get a sneaky listen to
Marvin and
Marvin
Clara.
on the way past as well.
Sure. Okay, so you're heading down the middle. Mona?
Mona sees Augusta going for the computer shells on the right, and probably says to Augusta, it might be worth checking if those are still operational while she's moving past towards the
Absolutely.
corner.
Okay.
Augusta would nod and try and get out of sight, which I think is about there, to the first rack of computers and start taking a look.
Sure. Okay, so you're inspecting the computers. And Mona, sorry, where is it you're having a look?
Towards the corner, far right corner. So keep on heading past Augusta.
Sure.
Is there a bed in the far distance? Would I be able to see that far? And
Yeah, so as you kind of make your way to the other end of the the bunker, kind of taking the right aisle, if you will. When you get to the end, you see that there's what appears to be like a small-ish gas stove with a kind of little crude hob setup, kind of welded onto it, and a dishevelled bed that looks like it hasn't been slept in for some time.
Would there be any compartments within the hob?
So
the
you
oven?
can have if you're kind of searching through that, you can absolutely look through there. Okay, so as you're all kind of scattered around, so Happy, what is it? Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or are you just having a
Trinkets.
trinkets?
But
Okay,
also the gig.
so we'll do a quick fire round. Happy, give me a perception survival check, please.
Okay. I would like to add via AP
Mm-hmm.
so that I can get a reroll. I'll reroll that one. Oh no. Oh. A success and a complication.
My.
Success and a complication. Okay. You do manage to gain the party back in AP. You find 21 trinkets.
Love trinkets. Trinkets
20
galore.
21 trinkets of various descriptions, just scattered about. Yeah, like dog tags. There's a little like nodding dog, like nodding bulldog on one of the shelves.
A medal.
Nodding bird?
So,
A medal, yeah, and you're just
Mockingbird.
yes. So you're just filling your pockets.
a
Just
bit of wood. Some more
Well-
dice. Loads of stuff.
So, yes, you find all of this. But,
A conker.
Augusta, if I could have a perception, what specifically about the computer is it you're looking through?
I'm trying to find if, first of all, if it's functional, and,
Okay.
and second of all, if there's any useful information, logs, journals, that kind of thing, research notes.
Sure. So give me a perception, an intelligence repair, or a perception repair. Sorry, no, it'd be a perception repair
Good.
because you don't know if it's working yet.
Perception repair, did you say? Yeah, great.
You've passed one roll. We've got to readdress the balance.
Well, there you go.
There we go. Okay, all is right in the world.
13. Yeah.
All is right in the world. You find out that it's not working, and sort of like looking through it, like I say, fundamentally it's just a hollow shell. So you can see the monitor, but all of the circuit boards behind it have been stripped out. There's no power supply, and I mean fundamentally it's just a carcass of a computer system.
And is that similar for the other two banks, or?
Give me another roll. Tell you what, we'll see if I can double down on these.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's keep going with the failures. There you go.
Ooh! So, off the back of
Yeah.
2 successes, you gain the party 2 AP. And this one doesn't turn on, but we'll come back to you. Mona, could I have a perception survival check, please, if you're rummaging through the hob?
Indeed. Could I buy an AP or?
You can. You are now rich with AP.
Yeah, I mean, because of that, I might buy 2 if that's all right.
I see. Mark my rolls
Ooh.
and then take my successes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
so off the back of that,
one
you gain
success.
back 1 AP for the party, and inside you find
There's a geck. There's a geck.
is a 2 cans of Heinz pork and beans.
For the dog.
I will.
I mean, I would
I will
argue
drop
better than a
those.
geck.
I will drop those into your character sheet for you. There you are. 2 Heinz pork and beans.
Superb.
Bailey, what is it you're kind of... So are you going for a rummage, or are you just earwigging?
I will start to rummage for a second, do a double take, and then turn around, head over to Clara and be like, "Here, Clara, can you just grab us out the geck, please?"
Ooh.
But I am talking to her about the revolution.
How rude.
Yeah, Tim, how could you?
Well, thank God you've got a plasma
Apologies.
mine on you, Tim.
Okay.
Does it say Clara gives you the geck and you will live happily ever after in the book?
Depends on your next roll.
Clara shuffles to face you.
My apologies. Ms. Mika asked not to hand the geck out to strangers.
Oh, sorry. Maker! And I'll I'll just lean around the corner and like frantically wave at Augusta.
Augusta walks over. Yes?
Well,
Mika, could you please let lovely Clara?
let me just
Oh
step
my
in.
God.
So, Bailey, you've just gone Mika, like, and waved over Augusta. So, while this happens, Augusta, you pull the front of the monitor off, and sat inside the machinery is a silver briefcase.
I would quickly put the front of the monitor back on.
And as you because you stand there for a moment thinking, is this like, oh, and like you can see Bailey now, and then as this happens, you hear an almighty crash from the left-hand aisle as Happy, on tiptoes, reaching for his next score. We're gonna kick in that complication, and he and accidentally knocks a whole rack of shelving to the floor. And like you all turn to see him, like through the shelving, you can see Happy just kind of frozen in spot. And Clara kind of turns to look to you, Happy, and
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Oh no, Happy, who is Mika's friend? You must be more careful when you are dusting.
Right, that's it. It's so dirty around here, you would not believe. But look, that shelf nearly came off. Well, it did. Actually, it did come off.
Happy,
That's the point.
as Mika's friend, are you practicing your feng shui over there?
There's so much me and Mika used to do, to be honest with you. And right now, that shelf.
Organization is key for a good working computer system. You should know
Absolutely.
this.
I'm just gonna carry on. You don't worry about it.
Marvin,
Mm-hmm.
Clara appears to, like, you see the lights in Clara's glass dome head go red as she turns to face Happy, and then she's just like swiveling at the waist, just to as everyone's just kind of shouting and talking. What do you do in this moment?
I think Marvin's going to say, "See, Clara, this is why we need more robot friends and less human friends."
Clara nods, and like with these stubby little right-angled arms with their little three nodules, she kind of leans forward, like angles forward at the waist, and kind of one of the hands turns around and kind of beckons you in.
I lean forward.
Clara, begins to what you would, as a robot, understand to be a whisper. Unfortunately, Clara has only one volume setting.
Ah.
But robot to robot, you understand that she's whispering
Yeah.
to you.
Can I let you in on a secret?
Of course, I am excellent at keeping secrets.
I know that is not Mika.
I'm gonna start edging behind the bookshelf.
Yeah, I see. What would you like to do about that?
The Protectrodon just is frozen for a moment, just while it computes what it would like to do about this. And you see, like, the laser domes in its palms begin to start glowing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Clara kind of rocks back slightly and...
Where is Ms. Mika?
Oh, and she's asking Marvin, right?
Yes.
Oh God. Guys, I'm really, really sorry. Marvin says she died in Sidcup. We are here on her last wishes.
You all hear this. All of you have heard every word of this. How are you all reacting? Starting with Augusta.
Very carefully putting the monitor screen back like this.
Okay. Bailey, you've edged just around the corner of the shelves. What are you doing?
Mostly hyperventilating. What do I know about Protectrons in terms of their lethality?
You've seen someone get cut in half by the lasers that fire out of their palms.
Cool.
I mean, they're usually designed as like construction robots, or once upon a time they were like, you've heard that they were used for like police or emergency services. So the fact that this one's painted up pink and seems to be almost like a housemaid, like a housemaid come nanny kind of thing, seems a bit odd. But yeah,
Okay.
You've had a look at it, and like the metal is just as thick on this Protectron.
I will start despite my hands being a little shaky, start priming up that plasmine just in case it's going to be urgently needed.
Okay. Mona, you've heard the robots betray you. What do you do?
Unsurprisingly, taking a step back.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit disappointed not to have found anything more useful in the corner, and was probably on the verge of looking for the next place to look, quite frantically. Obviously hasn't at all seen Augusta, and what Augusta may or may not have found hasn't seen that at all. So he's probably was looking for the most logical, unsearched place, but has now frozen in the corner and intends on staying there until something happens.
And Happy?
Just dusting himself off, you know. Made a bit of the shelf come down. Just this way.
Just gently Dick Van Dyking your way further down the room. Okay. So Marvin, you've just told Clara, and potentially unbeknownst to you, everyone else in the room has just gone silent and just poised.
Sorry, you go first.
No, go. There's a long pause from Clara.
There's a pause, and I think Marvin is going to add. Her last thought was to be able to see a blue sky and hear birds. We are here to fulfill that wish.
Clara has just been frozen in place since you said this. And slowly she just kind of rocks backwards at the waist to kind of face up to your main ocular unit.
What a shame. Poor Ms. Mika. She worked so hard to make the world a better place. Please excuse me. I think I need to be alone for a minute.
And Clara, slightly more slowly than before, begins waddling down the hall, and you all kind of let out a sigh of relief as you just hear a boom, boom, boom feet as she heads down the bunker. And after a few tense moments, Mona, you see her appear at the end of like the middle aisle, and she kind of turns, rotates in your direction, heads over to the bed, and you all hear a crash as she just kind of flops onto Mika's bed, face down, and like the bed legs just give out under the weight of this Protectron, and she just bam smashes into the ground like a 3-ton Mr. Blobby.
Mona internally says it probably isn't under the bed then.
You would hope not.
So that was where she was going to look next.
So Clara is now currently just laid, like just starfished on the bed. Can they can't really lift their arms up, can they? Like she's just, her arms are flat down by her side, and she's just donk like a log.
I don't know if she's getting up again.
Yeah, you've just seen this happen. Like, so what are you doing after this, Marvin?
I'm gonna look for the others.
Okay. Well, peering, as your eyes start turning, you can see everyone just kind of in various hiding spots, like through the gaps in the walls, in the shelving. Sorry. So,
There you guys are.
yeah, you can see they're just kind of like scattered around a little bit. What, Augusta? Like, you've just put this monitor back on, but it seems like the Clara isn't going to pose you any problems. So what do you do?
How big was the silver case in the screen? I'm sure there's a prop here somewhere for you, Tom. Briefcase?
It is standard kind of briefcase.
one thing.
Size, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Quick, Tom, quick. No, it is a silver. Like if you picture a standard kind of business size briefcase, it's around about that size.
Wait, do
I'll
got poker set up there?
I'll carefully take the case out, and I will motion for Mona.
Okay. Mona, you see Augusta kind of half in this massive pre-war computer, just frantically gesturing over to you.
And Mona will go over. Trying not to move too quickly, but desperately wanting to move quickly.
Protectron C based on movement.
Yeah. If we stand still, it won't be able to see us. I'm gonna go over and just
Happy Bailey, Marvin, you all convening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna go and sit next to Clara and put my arm around her and be like, "He'll be all right. Don't you worry." Just give her a little pat.
Okay. So as you comfort the Protectron, who you don't know if she's just turned herself off or what, like she's just utterly motionless, and you could as you rock her slightly, she just, because she's spherical. She just
I mean, I don't know anything about robotics, so I'm just going to assume that she's just sad.
Yeah. At this point, the fact that she's expressed emotion, if you will, that's a bit odd. You're trying to figure out if she's genuinely feeling sad or whether she's just programmed to feel sad.
I think Bailey isn't going to put that much thought into it, to be honest.
It's a very sad robot.
Yeah.
The Garden of Eden kit isn't much to look at. It seems to be a small silver briefcase emblazoned with the letters GECK on it. Attached to the side of the briefcase is a small transmitter device that is currently turned off.
Does Marvin have any compartments? Storage compartments, Marvin? I'm not asking you to put this in your
really.
robot purse. But I would look around, I would weigh up my options, I would sigh, look to the ground, and I would pass it to Happy.
Oh no! Oh no!
Keeping. Great idea, son.
So, looking at it, it's sizey enough that whoever has it would have to carry it, like hand carry it.
If anybody can make this thing look like it's not the thing it is, it's Happy.
Sure.
You are not wrong there, my friend.
So,
Yeah.
Happy, you've been handed this this briefcase, a silver briefcase that says Gek on it, and it's very much a case of like the two clips on the front, either side of the handle. And if you slide them outwards, it will pop the locks, and you could open it. But what do you all do? As Happy just holds his briefcase.
Well, listen, I've got an appointment back in Crystal Palace, so I'm going to start making my way out of here. Lovely to meet you, Clara. Goodbye.
Well, as you start making your way out, Mona, what are you doing?
So, Augusta's given the briefcase to Happy, right?
Yeah.
Is it
So-
closed up again?
So it's just in Happy's hand. It's not been opened yet.
The briefcase hasn't been opened.
Correct. So yeah.
But you said that we know that it's in there.
So it's got Gek, the word Gek stamped, like
Okay.
embossed on the front, on the top.
Mona's probably gonna be like, do we know if we can open this to check it's in there? To everyone, as Augusta starts walking away. We can't just walk out with a suitcase just because it has Gek written on it.
Happy?
I mean, I could give it a go, couldn't I? Really? Open it up? I'm not going to turn it on, am I?
Well,
Augusta, you as you look over your shoulder, as you're like power walking away, and you hear click click, and the two locks on the front of the suitcase flick open, and Happy, you lift the lid up.
Then we all die.
Inside it, you see what appears to be a number of instructional pamphlets, seeds, fertilizer, a tiny cold fusion device, and strange technology that currently appears to be powered off. Taped to the inside of the lid is a note card that ominously reads, "This Gek will collapse all matter within its given radius and recombine it to form a paradise landscape so that life may begin anew. Do not use in a populated area. To begin, simply add water and stir." As you read that, Bailey, you jump as the sound of a familiar, ghostly voice fills the room, echoing from a speaker on Clara's back. It's Mika's voice.
If you're hearing this, then that means I am dead, and you are now in possession of my people's Garden of Eden creation kit. Ain't that a bite?
Mika clears her throat.
I can't make your decisions for you. What you do with the device, how you use it. All I can say is this old mess, how we got here. It started because the people who had the power kept it all for themselves. The rest of us be damned. They took, and they took, and they took, and in the end, all they left behind were ashes.
Several long seconds of silence follow. When Mika's voice speaks again, her voice is choked with emotion.
My plea to you is that whatever you do, don't be like the people who burned the world down. Use the Gek for good. Build a new, better world. And when you do, use the transmitter on the kit to find my people. Find them. Save them. Bring them to the promised land. Anyhow, guess I'll be going now. I get to find out where you go next, you know, after this life. I hope it's somewhere green. Yeah. I'd love that.
And with that, the audio crackles for but a moment before an eerie silence fills the bunker. With a hiss, the door to the bunker swings suddenly open, and through the door steps Rast.
I close the Gek.
Okay. He scans the room, sees you to his right, Augusta, and he walks forward slowly, confidently. His lips twist into a slow, cruel smile. You didn't expect I was ever going to let the Gek fall into your filthy little hands, did you? I'm afraid that this was only ever going to end one way for the lot of you. Gentlemen, he says. And Augusta, you watch as the space around him begins to seemingly waver and wobble. And 4 figures appear from invisibility. And roll me a intelligence science check, please, Augusta.
Now,
3 successes. So we're going to shoot the party AP all the way up to 6 for this. And you recognize that these 4 figures that have materialized around Rast were clearly wearing some sort of cloaking technology, probably stealth boys. And as these gentlemen appear around Rast, all humanity drains from his face. Without hesitation, he nods, and the 4 figures raise weapons to you.
well, fuck.
Here we go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew he was dodgy.
You bastard, Rast.
Let's grab a quick break.
Hey.
Beautiful. I will see you all in a bit.
Nice.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Back.
And now we turn to our man on the pitch, Stafford. I hear there's trouble on the pitch.
Hello, Tom, and yes, play has stopped here at Upton Park, as West Ham star striker Jeff Brown has been kidnapped by a suspected sewer beast moments before a corner kick.
Core blimey, what an inconvenience. I bet their new sponsors, Explorers of Elsewhere, aren't very chuffed with that.
Right again, Tom. In fact, Explorers of Elsewhere are desperately looking for a replacement for poor Jeff as we speak.
Well, I fancy myself a bit of a kick around. How can I get in on the action?
They're asking candidates to subscribe to the Explorers of Elsewhere channel, and they'll get in touch.
Marvellous stuff. I'll get right on it.
Now back to you in the studio, Tom. I think they've just found poor Jeff's foot.
Welcome back, everybody. Hello. I hope you enjoyed yourselves on your little break.
It was less enjoyable than part 1, but
Yeah.
That's
I just sit here in the dark until we start playing again.
Till you're wheeled back out to your computer. Yes, absolutely. Cool. Who would like to pick up where we left off?
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. If everyone could stand by while I put you onto initiative. So, Augusta, as you stand there, Rast looks to you, and then from his back he produces what appears to be a white and red laser rifle and fires it at you. Ooh. But you manage to duck out the way and avoid the shots. So next up, Bailey. You notice that you can you've peered around the side of the down the center aisle, and you can see Rast surrounded by what appear to be 4 men, you assume, in long coats over what appear to be rather formal looking suits. We're talking suit, trousers, tie, white shirt. The suits are pinstriped and in remarkable condition. Their shoes are spotlessly shiny, but their identities are concealed by what appear to be these large black helmets with a full frontal kind of glass visor, an opaque black glass visor, and you recognize that they all were wearing gas masks, likely identical to the one you first saw Rast wearing when you first met him. And they all appear to have produced what look like 10mm pistols, and are looking like they're gonna start shooting. What do you do?
All right. Does Clara look like she's showing any sign of movement whatsoever?
Not at the moment, but she is quite slow and cumbersome.
That's a fair point. All right. In that case, I'll move up into medium range, I believe.
So you can move into the middle aisle. There's some sort of barrels and rubble, and there's pretty much If you lot want to drop into cover, then just say, and we'll take that into consideration.
I'll just I'll sit behind the barrels.
Yep.
Just sort of shake my head to myself like, shame about them suits. And can I prime and frisbee my lovely mind at these fellas?
Yes! You can.
Magical. All right.
Take 6 AP.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is I should roll some. I'm gonna chuck
we're going full
3
circle
AP at this, because if this works,
yeah, man.
Full circle all the way back to
Be
episode
awesome.
1. So you can take 3 of the AP to give yourself 5
lovely
d20.
AP. Okay.
Now it is thrown. So, as I understand it, that increases the difficulty because you've got to yeet it. Because they're at medium range, you have to yeet it quite a way, so it's an additional difficulty.
I see. So I've got 5 dice in total, right?
You have 5 dice in total.
Is 3 the
Beautiful.
max AP you can use?
It is, yes.
Seems like the right number. All right. And do I want? I can use my explosives for that. So
If this
yeah,
is
let's
just,
just.
it just ends. If this is just how it ends.
This is just brilliant.
I might say it's the magic number.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay. So Bailey, you sort of spring up, you head down the middle aisle, and as you kind of skid along the floor behind the barrels, you've already prepped and primed, and you launch this plasma mine across the room like a discus. 3 successes.
That's the number.
Is exactly what you needed to hit it on target. And Rast just kind of looks up as this disc flies towards him with the ominous green tubes on the top, and like he brings an arm up as one of the gentlemen steps in front of him and sort of like brings his arm up to shield Rast as best he can. That is a hit, so all 5 of them will take the damage. So please roll me the 9d8. So that is 8
There they are.
It's been improved at all, or is it too late?
2 effects. I don't know if you can improve the plasma mine because it's only got a firepower of 1. Or it's 0 if you will. So you might, so we can't up the damage on that. But yeah, okay, so 8 damage and it's energy, so
Yeah, piercing 1, if that makes any difference.
piercing 1, so that you've got 2 effects, so that punches through 2 of the armor, which is a lot of it. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we'll just say torso on all of them. So that they all take 7 damage once all said and told. Okay, so there's an almighty explosion. Rast also gets clapped by the explosion and takes a load of damage. And yeah, you all watch as this plume of green light explodes out. There's weird, wet, slurpy noises kind of flying off in all directions. And as the dust settles, Bailey, you peer up over your barrel and you can see that the gentlemen are still kind of standing. Most of them have just they've been battered. You can see like green burns across their kind of leatherish or sort of like long black coats. But what you notice is that the one that stepped in front of Rast to shield him, the force of the blow has smashed open the glass visor on his helmet, and like the figure is looking away, and as he kind of stands to right himself, you, through the bits of glass embedded into his face, and like the gas mask has been blown off. Under the helmet is Rast.
Oh.
And you look and notice that the Rast that you've been going with, who's wearing the clothes of the Rast you've been walking with, is identical to the figure next to him with the smashed helmet.
Yeah, I think Bailey was getting ready to make some sort of quip and is just there like...
So, very well done, Bailey. There's now green smoke lingering in the doorway and a very peculiar irony smell. Next up on the initiative is Mona. What do you do?
Mona had full intention of just aiming for Rast with the first time she's fired her laser gun. But now seeing another Rast has somewhat
perturbed me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for the original.
Okay.
Mona's gonna use minor action to aim, and then major action just shoot the laser gun, I think.
Okay, so well, you have to. I think at the moment, because of the shelving, either you can shoot through the shelving, or and sort of like they'll get cover, or if you want to move out, move forward, you'll lose the aim, but you'll get a clear shot.
I'll lose the aim. I'll just move to a position where I can get a clear shot.
Okay. Cool. So as you move up and sort of like flank Augusta, who's just like had to throw herself back slightly from this massive plasma explosion. Make your shot.
Okay. So
who was it you're shooting at? Sorry.
The original, the middle.
The original Rast. Okay.
Yeah.
The OG Rast.
Indeed. So this is a fusion cell using. So I haven't rolled this before. How's our AP looking?
You have 3 AP currently.
Can I use 1?
Yeah.
Or not? Yeah.
I'm seeing some nods.
Yeah.
I'll use 1.
There's no way I can ever say to anyone else they can't use AP, so...
I mean, so let's see how we go.
Yeah. 3 successes.
Ooh,
3.
that's good.
Okay, so You
I'm
were
not
shooting.
even a tag skill, so that was,
Yay, Mona!
You were
first
shooting
laser shot.
So you're shooting at the original Rast. 3 successes. That's going to give you 2 extra AP for the kitty, taking you up to 5. Well, down. So you were down to 2. It will then take you up to 4. And you bring up this laser rifle, and you've got your hands firmly on it this time. This thing's not slipping out your grip anytime soon.
Nope.
And like as Rast turns to kind of look to you, and you see like the sight is aimed right between his eyes, and as you pull the trigger, the helmeted man in front of him steps in the way. Roll the damage.
Okay.
3 damage, no effects. The figure steps in front, and as the line of laser energy flies at him, it hits the suit and just seems to dissipate into the long coat that he's wearing. And you're horrified to realize how energy resistant this coat must be. Whatever it's made of.
Oh, that's just harsh.
Is incredible.
The first time Mona's used any kind of weapon,
Unbelievable.
they're immune
Such a
to
good
it.
shot.
Triple
Such
hit.
a good shot. Yes, but yeah, it brings an arm up and it just dissipates across his upper arm.
Very well.
And then sort of like you can hear, now that you're closer, you can hear sort of like comms going on inside of helmets. Next up is Marvin.
Marvin is going to do something uncharacteristic,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to take a movement to get to Clara,
Yeah. Okay, so you move to the back of the bunker
and
where
I want
Clara's
to.
on the front.
Yeah, I want to command an NPC
Yes.
and say, Clara, it's time to avenge Miss Mika.
Okay.
Love that.
You say that, and there's like nothing happens. And then you hear a whirring begin to get faster and faster in Clara as she brings her arms up to like a horizontal T-pose. And then as she brings her arms, like rotates her arms in front of her, she effectively just kind of slides herself up to a standing position. And like as she rights herself and sort of like turns to look to you, and you hear her say,
For the revolution!
Brilliant.
Yeah, Marvin is going to hold out his flamethrower arm, pointing at Rast, and say, "For the revolution."
okay. And Clara, joins the initiative. Yes, she joins the initiative, and you watch as the glass orbs in her palms start like glowing hot orange red. Cool. So the gentleman, the one that's had its helmet smashed open, you can see it's got the Rast's face. Stalks forward, kind of using the shelving on the left hand side as cover, and it peers round at you, Bailey, and he makes some shots with his 10mm pistol. Now you are behind some barrels, so it turns out we've been doing cover slightly wrong. Basically, cover gives you extra armor.
Okay.
So he makes a shot. That's 1 hit. You are behind light cover, so can I please have you roll a d6, and then whatever you get is your extra armor. Okay, so you get an effect. So yeah, this kind of this gentleman brings a 10mm pistol up and fires a shot. You duck, and the bullet ricochets off the top of the barrel that you're hiding behind. The second one, the one that shielded Rast from your shot, Mona, lifts a 10mm pistol and fires back at you for 1 success, which I believe is a hit. And you take 4 damage
On my right leg?
on your right leg. Yes. So your armor is 1, so you take 3 damage.
Okay.
The next one, so the one of the gentlemen stood behind him, steps kind of in the way of both of you, and pistol in one hand, reaches out and pulls what looks like a baton with this kind of cylindrical metal cage on the end of it, and as he approaches you, a button is flicked, and the metallic cage at the end like lights up bright electric blue, and you see arcs of light like electricity flying through, almost like a Tesla cage. And the figure just kind of stops and looks to you, the two of you, Augusta and Mona, expectantly. The last one strides forward, and yeah, he's gonna have to. Apologies, Chris. Shoot you with a 10 mil.
Yep.
But the bullet ricochets off the shelf you're stood next to. Cool. Next up is Augusta.
Augusta would take a few steps back to try and get out of range, out of sight, I suppose, of these guys, and take aim with the 10 mil at this guy here.
Sure.
Do you know, it's been so long since I've done a successful attack. Let's see if I can manage one.
You turn fire with your own 10 mil.
Indeed. So I'm going to take an AP and put it up to 3, and I would like to aim at his visor, because with my at skill, I do not have any extra difficulty to do so.
You do not. Okay, yeah, so add the extra d20, take you up to 3, and yeah, you automatically hit on the head. So that's 1 success. That is a hit. 2 damage. Okay. As you fire the 10 mil back, you watch as your shot is on target, and the bullet, like the gentleman turns his head, and the bullet ricochets off the metal helmet.
Not quite what I was expecting.
You hit though, so that's a start.
That is an amazing start.
That is an amazing start. Next up, you all hear a loud bark as Mika leaps forward and lunges at the gentleman that just fired at you, Bailey. So
Nice.
he will bite. Like goes for the leg, but just kind of gets booted away by the gentleman. Happy, what do you do?
Yeah, sure. Does it take an action to give this Gek to someone?
Arguably, yes, because it's a minor action, I'd argue.
Okay, so could I minor action give it back to Augusta and just say, I'm going right in. You're going to need to look after this for the time being, all right, love?
Sure.
And then,
Yes.
don't worry, I'll be back. I've just got to clobber this fella. And then I would like to, clobber this fella, really.
Sure. So, thing is, as you approach, and this is the chap that's just kind of turned his head and ricocheted a bullet off his helmet. He's got his pistol in this this shock baton off. As you approach him, he will swing at you first as you come in. For 2 successes.
Is that Sorry, Dan. Is that the equivalent of has he held that action?
Fundamentally, yeah. So he lunges forward and jabs you, you approach and he's just got this club, right? And he just right in the chest, and you 4 or
Oh boy.
damage.
I have 2 physical, but I don't know whether the effects will stop that.
No, so you've got 1 energy resist on your chest. So it's just damage. So you take 4 damage to your torso.
Okay.
As your heart stops for a moment and then gets re-kickstarted.
Right.
Yes. Now, like as the gentleman kind of holds you in place, you can make your attack.
Absolutely. Not having any of that. I would like to buy 2 AP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, the other way around.
Try.
Which gets me, yeah, right. Pachow?
Ooh.
Oh, so 3
Yeah,
successes.
give me some
Come
of that.
down
I'll give you
into-
some of this.
Ooh,
his right leg.
punch to the kneecap.
So with 3 successes, you gain back to your 2 AP you just spent. So as you go, you drop to one knee as if defeated, and then you and just wham, punch him in the side of the leg. Yeah, roll for damage.
If I use luck, do I re-roll the damage? Is there like how much? What's on the damage one? Can I use luck to re-roll damage?
It's
Or add damage?
an AP for extra damage dice. Luck would let you re-roll.
okay. Could I use an AP for extra damage?
Oh, yeah, you just got yours back if you want. So each AP is an additional 3 damage dice.
I would like to use 1, if that's okay.
Okay.
So normally it's 5, which goes to 8.
Yeah.
5.
5 damage. Okay.
Can I use
So-
luck to re-roll any of them?
You can. 1 luck point lets you re-roll 3 damage dice.
Oh, yes, I'll certainly do that.
He's lucky after all.
Well, exactly. Some would say.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Can I do it again?
No, it's just the ones I've.
Yeah, you can never re-roll a re-roll, right?
Can't re-roll a re-roll.
Fair play.
So knuckles are just concealed. Okay, so you just take a Tesla baton to the chest, and as you drop to one knee, you just feel pumped because he's just filled your body with adrenaline. And as you look down, and that your plan comes into full fruition as you drop down to the less armored legs of these gentlemen, and as you swing your arm around at the right leg, you connect at the side of the knee joint, and you like Mona, you hear a as Happy haymakers this guy's knee so hard you hear the kneecap pop off, and the leg just goes floppy. He takes the full 5 damage, and as he falls, like his leg is out so hard, and he smacks his head on the shelving, which cracks open. And he just falls to the ground, dead. Nice.
Yeah.
Yes, and Mona, you can see Happy slightly steaming, like there's smoke coming off him. Cool. As this happens, Marvin, you hear as Clara kind of steps into the middle of the aisle at the back of the room, and you hear
Stop that revolution!
and like these 2 stubby arms point forward, like straight elbowed, and a stream of lasers just start scattergunning down the aisle. And Bailey, you have to to probably bring your arms over your head as these lasers just fly in all directions.
It's been a very confusing few seconds for Bailey.
Clara's going to go gung-ho because she's just saturating the bunker with laser fire. She's going to make her attack roll. So she gets 3 on that. But unfortunately, she's like, there's just all this laser fire, and Bailey, like everyone just ducks for cover. And when it stops, you all kind of, Bailey, you peer up, and there's just like laser holes burnt through things on the shelves, and you can see things catching fire. And there's just the 4 figures at the other end of the corridor. So Rast and 3 gentlemen just sort of like stop, and there's just laser holes punched in the wall behind them, and like that one of them's got a hole through his coat.
Like that bit in Pulp Fiction.
Yes. But Clara's just like striding forwards with purpose.
I am very glad you didn't roll any complications on that.
So, as that happens, Rast, not liking that one bit, scoots forward and like enters into your area, sort of like brings the rifle, the laser rifle up, and returns fire. He's going to let rip, and he's going to make a shot. So he hits. He's going to get me an AP. And he's going to do. He's letting rip, so that's 6 shots at Clara for 8 damage.
Oh my god, Clara, no.
Clara, we hardly knew you.
Show some emotion.
And you watch as he, and it's targeted, like burst fire, like real high precision, and you watch as he, with 5, so she takes 5 damage, and he blows her right arm clean off. And Clara kind of rocks and ow. She's down to, okay, she takes some damage. Next up, Bailey, what do you do?
Oh, you can mess with me, but you don't mess with Clara. I'll for my minor action, I will take out my little file of buff out.
Yeah.
Just into my neck and like, oh, and run at him with my cricket bat.
Okay. You'll need to spend an AP to do a minor and run and smack him.
Isn't he already technically in my zone?
He's close, but he's not a melee.
Ah.
Like he's not in touch. But yeah, for an AP, you can get to him and then also make your attack.
All right, if I use one more AP, guys, just to
Absolutely.
Use
slap the
2.
man.
Use
Yeah,
2.
please.
Sweet.
Okay.
Please
So
take mine.
I've deducted your AP for the extra action. You
very
may now
much.
go ham.
I
As you
would love to.
like your veins start bulging.
Let me just double check what my buff out does. Okay, I get to reroll 1d20 on all strength and endurance checks and get +3 max HP. Sweet.
Okay. Yeah, we'll bear that in mind. You're up to 17 hit points.
Right, so I'm just gonna 2-1 this directly into his smug, stupid face.
Who knew that Bailey was the barbarian of the party?
Alright, that's a success, so I'll reroll
That
my
Is
10
yeah,
with
reroll
my-
the 10.
psychotic rage.
2 successes, so
Hey.
that earns you an AP back. And as you, is this with your cricket bat? Yeah.
Sure is. Going like
Okay.
not with the flat, but with the side of it. Just-
Okay. So you all hear an almighty pong as his cricket bat cracks across the side of Rast's head. Across his hang on. Where did you
should
hit
have
him?
used cricket bat instead
Where
of
did
melee
you hit
weapon.
him?
My apologies.
In the right arm. Okay. So it's his right arm, so it's the one holding the trigger of the rifle.
Wonderful.
Yeah, roll for damage. 5.
5.
Okay. 5 damage. Okay. In which case, Rast takes a further 3 damage. And like, yeah, you crack him on the elbow, and he like recoils, which stops him from shooting at Clara.
I'm just gonna lean in very close and say, "Ghouls are very dangerous to get too close to, my friend."
He like his eyes narrow as he looks to you. Anything else?
Nah, that'll do me.
Okay. In which case, as that happens, seeing Rast in danger, 3 10mm pistols. A 10mm pistol is aimed at you from one of the gentlemen.
I'm hoping that being in like wrestling distance might help me out here, but if not, I'm
We'll
in
see.
I'm on that complication.
Okay. So, Rast seemingly kind of moves out the
head.
way just in time for one of the gentlemen to shoot you and hit in the head.
trouble. So not much important in there.
They're protecting Rast. use my AP. Blam!
Please do.
5 damage to the head.
Nice.
Don't know much of the cricket bat, whatever.
So I don't believe you've got any armor on the head. So you
I
take your
sure don't.
So if you drop to so we know you're up to 17 hit points, so that drops you to 12. Unfortunately,
Ooh, would I be up to 20 for the buff out?
Yeah, sorry. So so you're at 14 normally. The buff out takes you up to 17.
Right, I get you. Okay.
And then you're down to 12 from that damage. You are, however, injured. As you take an injury to the head, which I believe it makes you stunned and like missing turns.
Fine by me.
Someone could have a head. You're momentarily dazed and you lose your normal actions in your next turn. So yeah, this bullet like wings past and concusses you. I don't know with the bullet. So the next one steps forward to you, pulls out a shock baton and zaps you for 1 success, which is a hit. And
Oh, Bailey's in trouble, boys and girls.
buzzes you for 5 damage to the torso.
Is there anything I can use to die less?
Your torso has 2 damage energy resistance, so you only take 3 damage.
Wonderful.
So down to 9. And to keep you at bay, the third one nearest the door takes a shot at Happy because he's just killed one of the gentlemen.
Well, yeah.
But the bullet ricochets off the shelving again. Okay, that's them. Mona.
Mona is a little bit taken aback by the energy gun, the laser gun, not doing what she thought it would. But she sort of shakes herself off to and steps up to Happy.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to Happy, "My weapon did nothing. You need to get in there. You're our best chance." And she quickly sees, I can't remember what part of his body he got hurt on. Quickly sees whatever part he took some damage to and quickly applies first aid.
Okay. Roll for first aid.
Okay. I'd like to use an extra AP for it, please. Because I think we need Happy to be fully tip-top. Here we go.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Hello. So you only need 1, I believe, in this situation.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So you gain the party 2 AP to take you up to 4.
Grand, and Happy will recover 5 HP.
Nice.
5 HP. So
Now-
I'll bump you up to
Mona is a
12.
healer.
Oh, thank you. I was on 11 because I took 4 down to 7. But because I have 1 energy, was that down to 8? Should that
Correct.
be down to 8? So am I actually on 13 now?
Yes, you are at 13 hit points.
Cool. Sorry, I was playing around and then I saw that. I was like, okay. All right, thank you.
That's right. Cool. Okay, so Mona, as you patch up Happy, Marvin, at the back of the room, you can see Clara doing her best Rambo impression.
She tried,
And then get an
but,
arm blown off in response.
So it was the farthest I can go as a minor action.
So
What's
as a
the
minor,
medium?
you can move into sort of like the next zone, which is where Bailey, Rast, and one of the gentlemen is. So you can basically get into melee with them if you wish.
Yeah, I do wish.
Okay. So you move in, and then you carry on all the way through up to close.
Thank you very much. And I think it's time to use the basso on Rast.
Yeah. Huh?
Do you guys mind if I take one AP for this?
Take 2.
Not at all.
I would
Self
take
out.
2. Let's see if I can also give some back.
Yeah, man.
Okay. That, and that. And now we pray. That's 5 successes.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
5 successes.
Church of Old England be praised.
You supercharge the party AP up to 6
Yeah,
Good.
baby.
Okay.
to the
Damage.
torso.
I'm gonna take 1 more AP to deal a bit
Math.
more damage.
Yeah.
That
I
gives
do not
me
blame you.
2 extra.
3 extra dice if you're burning an AP.
I am burning an AP, so it's
Mm-hmm.
that much.
That's gonna be 5 damage.
Okay, hold
One
on.
effect.
Before we do that.
Yeah.
So I have a perk called Slayer. When you inflict any damage with an unarmed attack or melee weapon, which this is,
Uh-huh.
you may spend 1 luck point to immediately inflict a critical hit and therefore an injury on the location hit. I would like to use a luck point.
I'm sure you would.
Mhm.
Okay, so you boot like you've just seen Clark like lose an arm, and you fly in. Rast is kind of recoiling from Bailey's attack, and as he looks up, he looks up just in time to see you launch forward with your buzzsaw hand and hit him right in the chest. Sparks fly off as he's wearing whatever armor he's wearing under his clothes. Just starts making bits of your buzzsaw ping off, but you've rolled an effect, so you pierce 1 of his armor, so he will take 4 damage
I take it.
instead of 3, and you immediately with the slave inflict the critical on his torso, which I believe makes him very poorly. He begins bleeding heavily as you like cut into his sternum. As you pull it back, he's just and then just, blood spurting and oozing out of this wound in his chest.
Yeah. I wish I could reroll one of these, but no.
Okay. Anything else, Marvin?
I think that's plenty.
Sure. Augusta.
So Augusta has gun in one hand, Gek in the other.
Yeah.
Will move here.
So just to the left of Mona. Yep.
Yeah, so they can get a shot at this chap. But actually, as runs round and looks at this guy who's in mortal combat with the dog, and takes a shot at him.
Okay, so you're shooting the
Hoping,
one.
because they're turned away, they can clip them in the back of the head.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Let's give it a go. So no AP or anything like that. I'll save that for the folks who can actually hit. And
One hit is a hit.
it's a hit. Okay, I'll take that.
It's rubbing off on you.
Yeah. And
Okay.
let's see the damage. 1 damage on one effect.
Okay, you fire and it pings off the back of the helmet.
No good.
Unfortunately.
Left arm. It was left arm rather than
That-
helmet. Did that
yeah.
make a difference?
Sorry, the left arm. Sorry.
That probably didn't make a difference, but yeah.
It pings off what appears to be like a shoulder pad, like the whatever's under the arm. It cuts through the coat and
I'm
then
okay with this.
pings off the armor on the arm.
Sure.
So distracted as the gentleman turns around to see who just shot at him, the dog Mika like lunges forward and goes for another bite. Who would like Mika to use an AP?
Yes.
Me.
3 dice for Mika, 2 successes, gets that AP back, and somehow bites the chap in the head. Who would
ouch.
like Mika to spend an AP on the damage dice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can she
So-
spend 2?
Mika's not
I
greedy.
want a
Oh,
rip
yeah.
paste here.
Oh,
7
Oh,
damage.
bloody hell.
to the
7
throat.
damage.
It's in the head as well.
So, Augusta, you fire this shot. The gentleman, like the bullet ricochets off his kind of left shoulder blade, and as he turns to look to you, he's sort of like he's ducked down because he's naturally just kind of going into cover, and that drop in height is all Mika needs to run, bounce off a bit of kind of wreckage, and he watches this dog's fangs sink into the gentleman's neck and like under the helmet, and the man like thrashes, while this dog's just swinging wildly. Eventually, the gentleman manages to dislodge Mika from his throat. Unfortunately, Mika leaves with his throat.
Yeah.
And you watch as this gentleman like grabs at his neck as he slumps and slides down the shelving.
Nice.
And Mika drops the flesh on the floor and does a happy bark, covered in blood. Happy.
Yeah, newly revitalized. Happy turns to Mona and says, "I knew we had something, me and you, darling," and quickly, dexterously, gives her a peck on the cheek before going over to the next zone and battering the shit out of this guy with some AP hands.
Okay, it's armor piercing knuckles.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you Muhammad Ali like up to him, ducking and diving, make your attacks.
You want some of this?
Using any AP?
I would like to use 1 AP.
No.
All right, you convinced me too.
Okay, 4d20.
Ooh.
One success.
You're meant to get one back.
I'll use some luck to re-roll one of them. If that's all right.
Okay.
I got loads of luck. Re-roll. Haha.
Yeah, you're up to 2. You get an AP back. You're back up to 3.
There you go, you may as well use one.
I've got the heavy-handed and iron fist perks, which give me +1 damage dice, +1 damage dice, or +1 damage.
Yes, I believe.
Are they already inflicted?
I've filtered that in. Yeah.
Sound cool. Just checking.
That's how you're able to punch people's kneecaps off.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So let's see. So I would like to use an AP to do some extra damage as well.
So an extra 3 damage dice.
An extra 3. For 4.
4 damage, and you punched him in the torso. Do you want to spend any dice there? Any luck?
Yeah, I'll use my last bit of luck. 2, 3 more. Reroll. Oh yes.
Okay. So Mona and Augusta, you watch as Happy just sort of like ducks and dives, and then jumps and with a flurry of bam, 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 punches to the chest. Mona, you hear the punch that shatters this guy's sternum, and he just like folds in half and ragdolls to the floor.
And as he does that last punch, he just turns around to Mona and gives her a wink.
Okay, this gentleman is down. Okay, next up, Clara.
For the revolution!
Carries on firing her lasers, like willy-nilly into the corridors. She's only got one arm now, so it's not going to be a blast. And it was a right arm, wasn't it? Okay, so this one's going at the gentleman. She... Fraser, you're all just ducking and diving for cover as if his Hextron punches more holes in the wall. As everyone's ducking, Rast sort of like looks up and oh god, and reaches fundamentally into his back pocket, and he's got the torso wound, doesn't he? When does he take? Oh, this could change things. Torso at the end of your turn. Okay, so he pulls out one of his tried and tested stim packs, and you watch as he stabs himself in the leg and gives himself back 4 hit points. He then tries to, with his laser rifle, club Bailey round. He's gonna club Marvin with the butt of the.
That's fair. I'm
rifle.
probably shinier.
Yes, yes.
Bailey is many things, but shiny is not one of them.
It's definitely not one of them. Okay, shiny. So he's going to do that. for 1 success, which I believe is a hit. And then he's going to... it's only 3 dice. He like goes to stock butt you with his rifle, and with that improve. So on one of your left front leg. So yeah, one of your legs just kind of parries the thing, the rifle away, and he just for the first time in a long time, if ever, you see him hesitate. Bailey.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Alright, so I think I need to buy an action because I'm stunned.
Yeah, sounds about
for this
right.
round. So I will chuck 2 AP at that just so I can do something. That's alright. And the something I will do is hit Rast with a bat.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay, so as he's distracted by Marvin, you clock him in the head.
I can re-roll as well. The other one with my buff out, that has not helped. That's fine. Sweet. Yeah, I'll whack him in the head. Guess he's not really wearing any armor on the head either.
Nope.
Lovely.
Are you using an AP?
For more damage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, if I can do that. Just in case
you can.
It'll knock him off.
Do it.
So it's an extra 3 damage dice.
Oh, 3 damage dice. Bloody hell.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that goes to 7 damage dice then. Lovely. I might as well, I don't know if this is necessary, but I'm going to use a luck point to reroll. Let's just call it the 2.
Can I get ready to catch his head when you kick?
Okay.
In the slips.
That's
Damage.
6.
So to be honest, I think what happens here is I've just smacked him in the arm with the cricket bat. The cricket bat is like, it's a little bit splintered now. It's not in the best of condition. I'm concussed. I'm cracked out on my mind. So Bailey just drops the bat, stares up directly at him, and just starts to tear him to pieces with it with their hands. Just fully loses their shit.
Okay. So Marvin, you. So Rast is just like tried to rifle butt you, and you just dong like taking it like a champ, and then with your leg, you've just pushed him backwards into the weight, like the claws of Bailey, as she like there's a look, something that flashes in their eyes as Bailey just launches forward and just and for a fleeting moment, Marvin, you're reminded of the ghouls in the warehouse from yesterday. Earlier today.
It's been a long day.
And Rast turns to look, like, as you let out this war cry, he turns to look to you just in time for you to, and with your outstretched hand, your thumbs flawlessly punch through his eyeballs. And Marvin, your one of your eyes just turns away as Bailey just inflicts 8 damage to this poor man's head, and chunks like Happy, you can just see bits of head and skull and brain just flying in various directions. Even the gentleman stood next to Rast just like takes a moment to pause, and Bailey, you obliterate Dr. Rast. Utterly obliterate him. And as that happens, at the end, so on your next turn, the gentleman looks to you and like looks at Rast, looks at you, and then presses a button on a large chunky kind of device on his hip, and he turns invisible. And Happy, you hear the sounds of footsteps run past you and
Can
out
I
of the
swing?
bunker. You can, yeah, sure, you can swing.
We have no AP, but let's. I've got no
Have you got
luck.
any luck left?
No.
Oh no! How are we feeling, everyone? Are we feeling good?
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you.
Great.
Thrilled.
I'm gonna give you a free party AP that you can use to roll another D20. Tom.
Yes. I'll just re-roll
Yeah.
the other one.
Make it count.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Fell
I
for the
did-
trap
I
again.
do that swing and then fall over.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. In which case, you see the shimmer of this invisible figure run towards you, and as you wind up for a haymaker, you take a step forward, and your foot lands on a bit of Rast's head, and you and you stack it to the ground as this cheeky chappy dashes out of the bunker and makes his escape. And with that, Bailey, how are you right now?
Okay.
Like, how are you feeling right now?
Killed something. Great. Still got a lot of adrenaline. Robot is boring. There's a guy in front of me. I'm confused,
Uh-huh.
but I'm gonna start, I think, stalking towards Happy, just going.
Okay.
Who's currently on the floor covered in brains.
As Bailey, as you stride forward towards Happy, Augusta and Mona, you see Bailey, and it looks like something's tweaked in their head. What does Augusta do?
Bailey? Bailey?
I'm gonna turn towards the noise. Alright, new target.
Augusta, roll me a persuasion speech check.
Oh god. 6 as well, so here we go.
Okay. Bailey, as you turn to look at Augusta, and like fangs come out, and the three of you, Happy, Augusta, and Mona, you can see that there's just like Bailey's face is covered in blood, and it's dripping off their teeth. And Augusta, as you like put your hands up and say Bailey's name over and over again, Bailey, you begin to feel your mind coming back. And as you blink a few times and realize that you're on all fours on the ground, as the dust settles, the bunker goes quiet. And Bailey, you blink a few times and your eyes, like as the buff out starts to wear off, and you feel that inhumane strength just kind of leaving your arms, and you kind of slump to the ground a little bit. Mona, Happy, Marvin, Augusta, you breathe a sigh of relief, and then all of your eyes turn to the silver briefcase in Augusta's hand. What do you do?
Well, I suppose that we found what we were looking for.
And they found us straight away.
I suppose on the good news front, it doesn't look like Rast will find us again.
One of them might. But not that one.
Well, right.
Rather leave before more comes.
Before we do that, perhaps Mona, Bailey, and passes them both the stim pack that she has.
Yeah, Mona takes it and slowly walks towards Bailey. Bailey, are you willing? Holding out the stim pack for Bailey to see.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm alright.
And so,
Go
yeah.
for it, dog.
So yeah, just very slowly, moving very deliberately. Mona's going to do a first aid action with a stim pack, which I believe gains an extra 4 HP as well as the first aid effect. Basically.
Okay. So you're basically full health.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Don't know if you want me to roll or not to see if I mess it up.
Fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, Bailey, your wounds begin to kind of clot up as this stim pack does its work, as well as it can in your ghoul physiology. But again, your eyes fall to the briefcase.
Look, all I'll say is, I can either die going down in history as the one who started off a new garden, or I can die as that. Don't you see?
Happy probably gets up and wipes some of the more brains off his face and gets up and puts his hand on Bailey and goes, "You done good, kid.
A hell of a right hook you got."
Hey, some cracking claws you have, and I think if anybody deserves to give it a go, it's it's you.
Hey, I mean, look, if you really want to dissolve into a puddle of like goo of some sort, I will give you that honour, but...
And while I'm humbly honoured by that, Will, I think you're right. I think we've only spent a matter of hours together, but I think you deserve this.
No. No. Mona steps forward in between them, breaking up the discussion. Says, none of us are doing that. None of us are triggering it. Whether it works or not, none of us are using it anytime soon. That's not what Mika wanted. Mika wanted to think it through, to choose the best place, and that's what we're doing. We're not just saying that we're going to find a random tree.
We all join Mika in the ground when whoever kills us for this thing takes it and puts it in their own little vault, or makes their own little kingdom to rule over London. Look how well it worked out for her. I know you want to be some sort of hero, Mona, but it's in it.
As you're all saying this, Marvin, one of your eyes turns to see Clara staggering towards you a few steps. And then there's a noise, and Clara falls backwards to the ground with a clang.
Oh, that's not good. Can I use a robot repair kit to get her back up?
You can. Well, you can. As you start to patch up, you notice that one of the laser blasts has fundamentally burned a hole through her oil and fuel tanks. It's the equivalent of being shot through the heart.
Are you kidding me?
And Clara looks up to you with her sparks coming out of the stump of her right arm.
Did we win, friend?
Yes, we did.
That is good. I wondered. I've had the time to wonder if I was programmed to care for the human, or whether I wanted to myself. I hope we can make the clear skies she wanted to see.
And you notice the light in Clara's head cavity putter out as a pool of thick black liquid spreads out from underneath her. What do you do?
Not to be callous, but Marvin's going to be like, well, she's dead.
Mona probably turns to Augusta and say, whatever you think, Bailey, whatever you think, Happy, Augusta, Marvin, I can't remember who said it. They're right. We need to leave here. Decisions can be made later. We need to get out of here. Let's go.
Okay. So, you all leave the bunker with some haste. And you make your way back along the tunnels up the access ladder. Using your legs, you manage to push the large washing machine in Crystal Palace open, stepping back into the streets. You see a note left for you on the wooden bench in the center of the laundrette that says, quite simply, "Good luck. I'll see you in the promised land." Signed off with a C. So, at this point, I think there's 5 of you. We will do a vote. Who is in favour?
Sorry.
Who is in favour of activating the Gek?
What, like
That's
here,
happy.
right here?
No, I mean just like hitting the button, but somewhere, like actually using it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's Bailey, Augusta, Happy. Is that a question or a yes from Marvin?
It's a
Okay.
question.
Yes.
So are we voting in character?
Yes.
Okay, so in character, I think what's going to happen once we are safe is that Marvin is going to turn to everyone and say, "Thank you for the adventure. I am going to leave now."
Yes.
And just say, "Too many of my kind keeps dying for the betterment of yours. I will see you when the revolution happens." And then it leaves.
Okay.
Wow,
Okay.
that was ominous. Oh.
Season 2 Big Bad.
Yeah. So we'll count that as a no from Marvin. But okay. So Mona, you find yourself outvoted for the should we use it or not. What do you do in response?
Mona looks a little bit disappointed, like downtrodden, shoulders down, that sort of thing. But she looks at each of the 3 companions in turn and says, "If that's the decision, then so be it. I didn't come here to be a hero, Bailey, but just promise me this. It doesn't have to be you." And she says, "I've got other places to be. So you all know that I'm part of Camelot and they need me too. But we have created something here and we've all played our part. We've done what Mika asked."
Okay. In which case, Augusta, Bailey, and Happy, the 3 of you kind of find yourselves in possession of this Gek, this world-altering Gek. between the three of you, and there's no wrong answer here, is there a location you think it would be good to use it in?
Depending on how far we can get, I was thinking that like maybe if there's a little island somewhere we can get it to, maybe even like the Isle of Dogs or something.
Isle
like,
of
we can get
Dogs is a good
people
shout.
on
Yeah.
Isn't there dogs
Currently-
the main?
Currently
main place-
occupied.
Yeah.
by
Yeah, but
one
it
of-
won't be if we press the button near it.
Yeah.
Currently
You are
occupied
not
by
wrong
one of
about
the
that.
rogue factions.
Canvey Island?
Canvey Island isn't quite an island. I suppose it is an island, yeah. You could sail down the Thames to Canvey Island, yeah.
Where City Airport is,
Yeah?
that little stretch right in the middle of the Thames, towards the East Docklands. It would have been concrete anyway, so you could restart that island up,
That could work.
Okay.
and then there won't be any arguments about whether it's north or south of the river.
Okay. In which case, between the three of you, you figure out where you want to use it. Mona, are you still with, or have you departed to?
No, retract the Canvey Island comment anyway, because I forgot that I wasn't there. But no, Mona has left them to it, wished them well, and departed, so it's not just completely for them.
Sure, okay. In which case, in a hastily erected tent, there is coughing and spluttering, and a hand delicately mops sweat from the brow of the relatively young boy in a stretcher bed. And the young boy looks up into the large dark eyes of Squire Mona, the Camelot camp's most recently arrived medic. There's news of a new settlement that's been created in the Thames, which has managed to purify the water that flows through the city, spurring on life and activity, and apparently even putting to rest some of the squabbles between the factions. Mona, as you tend to the young boy, he thanks you. And as you stand up and put your med kit away, you look at the name that's hanging above his bed, his field bed. And you note with a smirk that the boy's name, the leader of the Camelot movement, is Arthur. And as you stride out into the next tent, the war tent, you see the other leaders of Camelot looking to each other, and with this device having worked and more recruits, more people flooding into London, I think we have enough recruits to finally launch our assault on the gentry. Soon, London will belong to the people again. And the commander looks to you, Mona, and gives you a nod as thanks for tending to his wounded son. A factory door creaks open slowly as a pronged hand pulls on the chain to open it. As a Mr. Handy studies the factories and built warehouses in Dagenham, just down the river. And as Marvin floats in and turns a flashlight on attached to one of its eyes, it regards all of the imported American robot parts that hang from chains and supply lines within the building. And with an air of confidence, the Mr. Handy floats up to one of the control panels and hits a button, and the factory comes to life as the robot production line begins anew. Elsewhere in London, between the three of you, you catch a sort of like a ship, a small ferry, out to the island in the middle of the Thames. It's a smuggling vessel that operates discreetly because of the nearby Vagabonds and Syndicate turf war. But as you see the island, the three of you realise it's one thing to have a location, but someone's got to press the button. And unfortunately, it can't be the dog. So,
We didn't have enough time to train it, I understand.
if you feel that your character would want to push the button, I will happily accept arguments for.
I mean,
Hmm.
me, please.
I don't think I don't think Happy wants to do it. I think he wants to be a part of it. Say his well wishes to Bailey, but just be a. I think he's there for the aftermath. I think with his trinkets. I'm afraid.
Augusta?
Augusta doesn't want to take this from Bailey. It's Bailey's wish, and
How generous.
Augusta believes in, if that's what you want to do, she'd put herself forward. But you've been very upfront with that, and that's what you want, and that's what your wish should be. There's a part of Augusta as well that probably thinks that they should be there afterwards and trying to help to rebuild that peace like Mika wanted.
And I think the only other thing I would add is that to tell Bailey that we'll tell everyone. The ghoul did this.
We'll make sure that the settlement is called Bailey.
Oh.
The old Bailey.
The old Bailey.
The new Bailey.
The new Bailey.
What more could I want? Look, I don't think the two of you have ever really put yourself out forward as like leaders or politicians or anything like that, so maybe you should be. Maybe this place deserves like someone who actually knows stuff, Augusta, and can talk to people. Happy. Yeah, you guys will be alright. Like, maybe just like Happy some crime, but not, if you can try and not turn it into a nightmarish crime lord hellscape, that would be great.
Of course, not a problem. I've actually always seen myself as a bit of a prime minister of sorts.
Oh, amazing mayor, and it's not
plenty
just
of times.
Coincidentally, not a bad location for smuggling. So,
well, I mean, you got to make a living.
Well, you know what? Never thought I'd matter.
Well, you certainly
but
do.
You guys will too.
You certainly do.
Yeah.
Just watch out for Marvin, yeah.
Yes.
He's harmless tin can.
So.
Yeah.
So. You, Augusta and Happy, you mull on this conversation as you sail back to the southern shore of the Thames. Because on the island, alone, with the silver briefcase, is a ghoul wearing a large, fluffy orange scarf gifted to them by a blood-crazed Mr. Handy. And as you look down at the open briefcase, Bailey, you see the note that ends simply just add water and stir.
Probably gonna just sit with it for a while and watch the sun kind of set in the orangey radioactive sky. Like, well, be embarrassing if this doesn't work. Take out my canteen, pour a little bit in, give a little stare.
Happy and Augusta. The entire world around you turns white with a flash of light, not unlike ground zero of an atomic explosion. Strange colours and stars dance around your vision as the light dies, as though to some unseen music. At last, the world comes fully into view again, and the bounty of the Garden of Eden creation kit is revealed. A lush paradise of grassy plains, beautiful woods, crystal blue lakes, crystal blue water in the River Thames, mineral-rich embankments, and colourful flowers rarely seen since the world died so many years ago. At its centre lies the device, its components intact, waiting to be used to create a settlement worth living for and worth dying for. The one who activated the device is simply gone, without any sign that they ever existed at all. Their life, their sacrifice, was the cost of creating the promised land that Mika dreamed of. And now, the promised land is yours. And with that, we'll call it there. Congratulations, everyone,
Very
on completing Fallout London 2D20.
Great work, Dan.
Very
Thank you very
good.
much.
Hey,
Awesome stuff.
So,
thanks, Dan.
amazing. Right, so that's it. That was a nice quick one shot, wasn't it? So,
That's great.
yes, it was.
Good
Thank you all so much for playing through that, and thank you all for sticking along and watching it. This has been quite fun. I've actually really enjoyed being in the Fallout world, and I hope you've all enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
It was brilliant.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice change of pace.
Amazing. So, yes, people in this group have stuff and things that they do on the interwebs. So, Chris, what do you do in your spare time?
I'm a professional DM based in Bristol. You can contact me on Twitter at house_of_Hugh. That's HYGGE.
Amazing, and we will chuck that in the description. And Staff and Tom, I hope you've prepared the speech. You've rehearsed this. Where can we find you two on the internet?
Well, we're Proxy Table Gaming, aren't we, Tom? Hyper G and Lucky Sixes.
We certainly are, and you can find us at YouTube, Proxy Table Gaming, Facebook, which is Proxy Table Gaming PTG, and at Twitter, which is at Lucky Sixes PTG.
Amazing. That will also all be in the links below. And you can find Tim in the Explorers of Elsewhere campaign that's currently running. And you
doing
can
a great
find...
job.
Doing a very good job, yes, absolutely. And you may well find Tilda lurking in the background of some of our videos. But
And your dreams.
yes.
Making me sound so menacing. I don't know why.
Marvin will certainly be in your dreams.
Yeah.
Viva la Revolution.
Oh my goodness.
So, if you enjoyed this, we have 3 other episodes like this, or loads and loads of other stuff that's not quite Fallout, but it's kind of similar. So you should watch that as well. So you'll find those in all the various playlists. If you liked what we're doing, make sure to hit the like button. Leave some comments down below of how you think the Fallout London mod is going to pan out. And whether there's going to be an idyllic paradise in the middle of the Thames when that releases. But most importantly, if you enjoyed it and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the
Do
bell
it.
icon for notifications of when we release new stuff, which is very, very regularly, almost weekly, you could say. So, thank you all for playing once again.
Thanks
Thank you.
again, Dan.
And just a reminder that if you
Thanks,
don't
Dan.
like and subscribe, then Bailey's death is for nothing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's true.
And
Aw.
Marvin
You.
will come for you.
Definitely.
Yes, thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
My mother always told me that I had a splendid voice. In fact, I'd sing in opera if they'd give me my choice. I wrote to Oscar Hammerstein that I would be his star. He said, come down and sing for me.